Welcome to Mueller Time. How you doing, Mel?
Yo, I'm doing fantastic. What a week.
Yeah, I want to first, as always, thank all the Patreons for supporting the show. And
Yay.
Right? Because
exactly.
as you yourself said,
we only need 600 and then rent's paid.
Or as you said, get that rent jumping off, I believe.
Get the rent jumping off.
Really made me laugh every time I think about that.
We got to get that rent jumping off.
So it's at patreon.com/Mueller Time. I think I'll do our social media plug up front this time. Twitter at Mueller Time Pod, Facebook Mueller Time Podcast, Instagram, and my personal account is Eric LeVay. I'll probably do it later too, but you know.
Yeah, and then they find you on iTunes.
Yep, we're on every podcast app out there. Literally
Nice.
all of them.
Nice.
Except for one. Pandora is a tricky one. I've been trying to get on that for a while.
Okay.
But they're a little, well, they're not really an app.
I think I looked for it once on Spotify.
Oh,
Couldn't find it though.
It's definitely on Spotify now. We had a little issue with them in the beginning.
Well, I have it on Google's podcast now.
I love that app.
It's a good app.
That's a very
good
good
one. It really
one.
is a good app.
So, Mel, it's the fourth week in the national emergency. Have you been doing okay?
So far, so good.
Because I've been concerned. I didn't see you for a bit. I thought maybe.
I know, right? Well, I bought a new car, so that
Did you
happened.
really?
I bought a car today, yeah. It's not new, it's used, but I bought the same car that I had.
You know, I got a message, this is true, from one of our listeners in Amsterdam who was asking about Mel's car.
Wow.
Because you had brought it up before.
I did?
You said something about we got to get that rent jumping off, and then you said something about a car, and they were like, did Mel get a car? And I was like,
So yay, I got a car. Another Prius C. Because I'm a California kid.
By the way, before we started, Mel was telling me a truly hilarious story that we may or may not get into, but it was about a major celebrity who's now being profiled on an HBO show that premiered today.
Yes. All right. So it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I know Michael Jackson.
Yeah. It's great. What I was thinking about, the reason I brought it up was I was thinking about what that documentary is about and come on, everybody knows that. I think he did what everyone says he did. And I was just thinking about how power allows you to get away with things and how that relates to what our show's about, which is Trump.
Right. Exactly. But I'm not 100% sure that he did that. I've met him,
is that right?
And he came off extremely normal, super, regular dude.
But like I was saying to you, as you know, a lot of those, unfortunately, those child predators do.
Right. They do come off normal, though. But I have read other interviews of people that claim that he did it, and then they retract it.
You also, I want to watch it, and
so who knows?
You're talking about Johnny Cochran too.
Yeah, I know Johnny Cochran.
I'm an admirer of Johnny Cochran. Like when I drive past that Cochran firm, I always smile because I just think about the OJ case, and as much as again I don't agree with, because
oh my God,
he was a great lawyer, even though I don't agree with the verdict.
Oops, I have an OJ story too.
Please.
So no, we're not going to talk.
Oh no, we're not going to tell that one.
We're not going to tell that one either right now. But I do have that too.
What is OJ up to these days?
Isn't he in Florida still?
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
He's still looking for that real killer.
Yeah, still looking for the real killer. Oh my God,
on the golf course
with Trump.
Look, you want to bring it back again? Talk about the power of money and fame. OJ, Michael, Trump. I mean, again, I know we may not agree on who did
R.
what.
Kelly.
Another one.
R. Kelly.
Come on, how long has that been waiting to go down?
I know, forever.
I mean,
that's been forever. I mean, we've always known about it. We've even laughed about it. Like, we know. There's videotape of him.
Dave Chappelle did a whole sketch.
Girls.
Yeah, right.
We know that he married Aaliyah when she was 15. So he clearly was dating her at 13 and 14.
How the hell was that ever okay?
So we all just was like, okay. Right, but that's a weird thing for everybody to just go,
Well, I've been wondering. Okay. I've been wondering when the Me Too movement the Me Too movement, when it happened, I was like, when is it going to take the music industry?
Right. I thought a lot more people were going to go down.
That's the number one. I've been in all aspects of this industry, and I'm a musician too, and I mean that's by far the one where you see, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the worst one.
What was up with the Ryan Adams story only being one day? He's just as bad as any of these guys. Did you even see that?
Barely. I heard it in a whisper across my ear and it disappeared. But yeah, you're right. Ryan Adams.
I've always just hated that guy's music because I used to play in this one bar, and no, I know
Okay.
Mel's laughing because I used to play in this one bar. It was like a singer-songwriter bar, and the guy who ran it, who was a cool dude, it's nothing against him, but he would always, a lot of times he would close by playing this one Ryan Adams song.
Oh my God.
And you could see everyone get in, like girls would really get into it, and I was always looking at it, I was like, this song sucks, dude.
Right.
Like, why? Like, it's not a good, when you're a songwriter or whatever, you get irritated. Like, it's a personal thing. You're like, this song sucks.
All the bars I used to go to, they used to close down with Van Morrison, Brown Eyed Girl.
You don't like Van Morrison?
Always. Always, though. Always.
But you don't think that's a good song? Because
I'm just saying, though.
you just got tired
really?
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was closing time. That song came on. Just always.
It's better than that actual song, Closing Time. Remember what a POS?
Yeah. Oh
God, man, that
God.
song, I used to.
Horrible.
This is no longer Mueller time. It's
Yeah,
just
clearly.
a variety of different topics.
Yeah, clearly people just rambling about crazy stuff.
Well, you got to, as one of our listeners said, ramble on, gentlemen. Ramble on.
Wow, nice. I appreciate that.
That was a review on the face. But yeah, the Ryan Adams thing that was a one-day thing.
Okay.
And when I saw that, I was like, I knew it.
Mhm.
I could just feel it.
But there's so many more. I mean, Elvis Presley and just so many people. Elvis Presley had a fetish for young girls and white panties and stuff.
All these guys, like you read stories about like Led Zeppelin, like they got away with it because the movement hadn't happened yet. But now,
Right. Who knows?
you know,
I don't know.
that's
I really don't know. This movement's strong, which we really needed. I feel like it's a consciousness awakening that we absolutely needed.
oh yeah.
And so now that we're a little more woke, it's kind of scary to think about how we behaved in the past and what we let go. Like for real, the R. Kelly thing. Like we knew.
Right.
Like we just straight up knew. It was like, all right, whatever.
I knew about like some of the stuff. I didn't realize that he basically is the head of a cult. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. See,
Like-
those are the things that, you're kind of like, really?
Yeah.
Or are you just really just now just making up shit?
Like that's the thing I didn't know about. I think that part is definitely true. I knew about the stuff with Aaliyah. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Aaliyah.
Yeah, I knew about that, but
Right. So the best thing that I've heard, and the reason why R. Kelly's going down now, finally, is because he ran out of money.
isn't that the American way?
Yeah, he
He's out of
ran out
money.
of money, so now he can't pay off anybody anymore.
Okay, so the big event last week was the Michael Cohen.
All right, I'll finish out with the OJ story.
Okay,
Super quick.
No, go ahead.
Super quick. The day OJ was going down the freeway, I was at Johnny Cochran's house, and we left and ran down to the freeway. And I actually have a photo of the chase.
Really?
Of him doing the chase. Then we left, and we went over to OJ's house. And it was a crowd of everybody just there screaming for OJ. OJ, OJ, OJ. So that was a whole day.
You're kind of like the Zelig of LA celebrity stories. Do you know that movie? Zelig? Yeah, you're or like the Forrest Gump. You appear everywhere.
No, I do.
Not that I'm saying you're slow or anything.
I am slow.
You appear in history.
I'm just everywhere.
Did you watch the? I'm gonna just say probably not. You didn't watch the entire 9 hours of Michael Cohen testimony.
No, I listened to it.
Did you really?
I was in the car. I listened to it all.
If I could go back in a time machine, I don't think I would have
Listened
watched
to
the
the
entire
first half. The second half was cracking. The first half was horrible.
It was like fight night. Like I wish I had tickets. Like it was like going to the Garden.
No, dude, that second half was amazing. I love Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I was also into Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. I mean, all three of them. I'm ready. Let's do this. 2024.
So Cohen, I got up early. It started at 7 a.m. on our time, and the first thing I noticed when it started was that, well, first of all, I got up, and that's too early for me. Okay, I know a lot of people get up early.
That was 7 o'clock in the morning, right?
Dude, I was like, oh my God, like I got some coffee, and I'm like, I know a lot of people get up that early or earlier.
I do. I get up earlier.
For me, that's a little early. So
yeah.
Turn on TV, and when I saw Cohen walking in, he was smiling, which I thought was interesting, and it seemed like a real smile, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be good.
He's smiling because he has white privilege. And this is how white privilege works. You lie to Congress, you go to jail, but you only go for 3 years. you come out with a book deal and become a multimillionaire.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of truth there.
That's ultimate white privilege.
He's a gangster, basically, and who got caught.
Right. He gets to do everything wrong for what? 30 years of just criminal behavior. Then he lies to Congress, and he only gets 3 years in prison and comes out with a multi-million-dollar book deal.
Most of the thing, like I said, you don't have
3 years, dude.
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
Although, let's be honest, Trump is trying to put a hit on him.
I know.
Seriously.
3 years.
That's why John Lewis made that remark about snitching. At the time, I thought he was just criticizing Trump, and then later I thought about it, but that's what he was really saying. Why they keep painting him as a snitch is so something will happen to him in prison.
Right.
They want him, like, literally, that's exactly what that is.
Right. Snitches get stitches.
Make yourself look good.
You're right. Snitches get stitches.
And even though he's going to, for his particular situation, the best prison you could go to, it's that one in, I think it's like upstate New York.
Okay.
And I know he'll be in protective custody. That doesn't matter. A lot of people are in protective custody.
Oh, yeah. No, that doesn't matter. The guards beat him down. Whoever pays is going to do the work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he's a snitch, he'll get beat.
So most of the thing, you really, if somebody didn't get to watch the whole thing, you can pretty much skip a lot of it. But just to summarize it, by the way, the Republicans did a horrible job, even by their standard. I mean,
totally.
Even by their standard of just trying to manipulate the public.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Jordan and whoever the other guys,
all the knuckleheads,
were horrible.
They just kept repeating the same thing over again. You are a liar. You lied to us. And here's the thing that I always wanted them to say. I wanted somebody to come out and say, Michael Cohen, you're a liar. You've been convicted of lying. What is that lie? And then tell the lie and say, so the truth is, okay, so now we know the truth. And then everything else goes along with that.
Well, I think that's true. And the Democrats could have taken a little advice from that too. There was a lot of, like, as you mentioned, Ocasio-Cortez did a good job, and a few other ones. You have a limited time in these things. You have like 5 minutes.
Right, you do.
So even for the Democrats, a lot of them didn't really get to the point.
They didn't. They really didn't. But like I said, AOC, she opened the door to get Trump's taxes. So that was fantastic.
She did a great job.
She always does a great job.
Well, she's very new, and I think what she did, which was smart, was, look, she's not a lawyer, but it was clear that she prepared with people who know
that knows what's going on.
That coached her. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
She got out there and knew what the hell she was talking about. She was prepared. That's what you should be. You should be prepared. She was thoroughly prepared. I even liked the way that she only spoke about what she visibly sees in her district, and really kept it about her and her district.
She did what, that thing was so long, man. I don't even remember that part, to be honest with you. But
I do. I remember that part. That shit was great. And so, so then she really called out to find out, well, what is it about Trump and all the things that he's been doing, and said that the only way we'd be able to find out really is to truly look at his taxes. So now it looks like that's going to happen. So that was one thing that I super appreciated. The other thing that I appreciated was Rashida Tlaib calling Mark Meadows a racist. Yeah. Because she called a racist.
That's correct.
And he was like, oh, I'm not a racist. I have black babies. Well, a lot of slave owners have black babies.
Yeah.
So, remember Mark Meadows 2012?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Obama. Go back to Kenya.
Now, I at the time did not remember that, and then they played it, and I was like, oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually very surprised that I know it's different when you work with someone, but John Lewis.
I know.
He kind of went out of his way there to...
He went out of his way to say, nah, he's a good guy, but, I don't know.
I'll say something about that. I saw Lawrence O'Donnell comment on why sort of that happened and why Rashida Tlaib sort of semi-apologized. Right. He said there's a rule basically on the floor that you're not allowed to do... It's bullshit, but it's what she did.
Right. You're not allowed to call somebody out.
Right. So basically, they can have internal problems, and she could have problems, which sucks. And maybe that's why Lewis even
straightened it up for her. Oh, no, he saved her ass.
I guess that's what it was, but I think obviously it's bullshit.
I feel John Lewis actually saved her ass.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Stepped in right away because he realized what happened. And he stepped in and was like, yo, that's not what you said, right? Yeah, you're right. That's not what I said. I said that the act of what is seen here today by having a black lady brought out to say, oh yeah, Trump has a black lady that works for him.
That's insane, though. If that's true, what Lawrence O'Donnell said, that you can't do that. If you can't criticize your own colleague as a government official, I mean, that's crazy. What can you do?
It was on TV too.
I mean, that's why it was so great.
Under closed doors, you might be able to do that or get away with it a little better behind closed doors, but not on television.
It's like, it reminds you like the law that of schools in this country. A lot of people don't know students do not have the same protections that you and I have right here. You don't have First Amendment rights in the same way in schools. The courts have decided that basically it's also bullshit. They can stop you from wearing a shirt.
Right.
They can stop you from saying certain things.
Right.
It reminds me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've just decided in this area. She literally, I mean, that moment where Mark Meadows, like, paraded around that woman.
Right. That was ridiculous. That was a total racist ass thing.
So the camera pans back. I remember when that happened, I was like, wait a minute, what? And then she was just standing there. What's her name? Lynn?
Yeah.
She works for Trump.
Right.
But the camera pans back and she was just creeping. Like, she was also a little creepy, I have to be honest.
Right.
Like, she was just, I'm like, do you have a chair?
Right. No chair for her.
And you're right. It was
the
totally.
Black lady doesn't get a chair.
You know what that woman does? She's a wedding planner. And that's how she knows the Trumps. And then they hired her to work because it's Trump.
Right.
So let me just hire anybody. So she makes a very good salary. I mean,
Right. But just because you hire one black person, I mean, he can still be racist.
Of course. Like that thing you said about, so you have nephews? So your sister married a black man.
Right. Is what we're assuming. I don't know who married who. I don't know if it's like whomever, but somebody married somebody black.
As you said, that's the title of a book that Mel will be writing.
Yeah, somebody married somebody black.
As you said yourself, then all of a sudden this video comes out of Mark Meadows saying Obama needs to go back to Kenya. Which is disgusting.
I know. Because Mark Meadows is a total racist. So for him to come out and try to pretend like he's not. And also, in order to be a racist, I want you guys to know, racism, you don't have to hate somebody and still be racist.
Right.
You can like black people and still be racist.
Right. As you've made that point on some other shows, there's like levels of...
Right. There's levels of
complex.
racism. Right.
Overall, what I would say about the Michael Cohen hearing was that, and I made a YouTube video. If you go to the Mueller Time YouTube page, I did a little commentary. What I took away mostly was that it was this huge historical day of the president's shady-ass lawyer who operated out of a storefront.
Right, the fixer.
Next to a Supercuts in a deli.
And back at the bodega.
That was like out of The Godfather. And you know what? He did a hell of a good job. He did a
great job. Did you hear that when he was screaming at the people, tell them how they would, they would just be in so much trouble if they didn't do what he asked them to do, and just yelling at him on tape. It was great.
Oh, when you mean
about Michael Cohen? And
yeah.
That shit was fantastic.
Michael Cohen,
he's a dog. He goes in hard. He goes in hard on people.
Well, he also knew that was his job. Like it's the same way, and this was the big point that I took away from it. Michael Cohen issued the Republicans a warning. He said, I was the fixer, but now you're his fixer. And look what happened to me. And this is going to happen to you.
Right.
And none of them will listen, even though he gave them the greatest advice someone's ever given them.
Well, here's the whole thing about that whole Michael Cohen testimony. It sounded like it was a movie. It sounded like it was written by just a good writer, somebody that knows how to write very well.
Some Aaron Sorkin type.
Right. That's what it sounded like. All they need to do is do that all over again with some different camera angles, and it's a movie. It's set.
Like you said, I mean, the movies, the TV shows we're going to get, the games,
the comic books, the cereal,
the live action, the conventions,
the plays,
what do you call those, escape rooms? You're going to be escape from the Trump house.
Yeah, escape from Trump house. It's going to be all sorts of Trump. It's going to be Trump world.
The PBS,
yeah,
the virtual reality,
rap songs.
Ice Cube already did that goof.
Yeah, he did.
Arrest the president. Yeah, that was really something, man. Just the president's lawyer. Now, also, he testified that 3 times that week, but only one was public.
Right.
So there's a lot.
We only got Wednesdays, right? Or was that
we only got Wednesday.
Right.
The other one were closed doors.
So Tuesday and Thursday, closed door.
There's a lot going on. You got something there?
Oh, yeah. No, I was just talking to somebody last week, and we were just talking about the Trump library. And we were just thinking, what would they have in the Trump library? Would there be like a fast food buffet?
It's going to, yeah. Well, I mean, if there was one.
Like that. Yeah, right.
Well, the Daily Show did like a pop-up thing, which was basically the tweet library.
Oh, okay. So it'd just be tweets and fast food.
It'll be white only, I can tell you that. I hate to say that, but
Probably,
come on, you know it's
probably would be.
Yeah.
Probably would be.
Black people, come around the back entrance.
Wow.
Fuck you. I know it's harsh, but
that is pretty harsh. I don't think he'd go that hard in the paint. But why would anybody go to the Trump library? Oh my God, I can't imagine that's going to be a thing.
Don't worry, they probably kill my ass too.
It's going to be
Jews
a thing.
die.
That's going to be a thing. Oh no, Trump is all about, you can't be anti-Semitic at all. He went all down that girl's throat when she came out and said that, maybe we shouldn't listen to what they're saying, and that we should probably listen to the Palestinians.
They do the same thing that we could definitely address that maybe a little later another time, because I think if it's what you're talking about,
Ilhan Omar.
That was that remark was my kind of radar went up there that was, but the point being, he does the same thing that Mark Meadows did. They're like, oh, Trump has a Jewish son-in-law and his wife and his son. Right. So who fucking cares?
Right. That doesn't mean anything.
I could tell you stories right now that just about things just like that.
Yeah. That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, but back to Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
Did you know that over in the West Virginia legislature, they hung up a poster about 9/11?
I did hear about that. That's disgusting.
Right. They hung up a poster saying never forget, and then they hung up a poster of Ilhan Omar, and it says she's proof that you have forgotten.
Yeah. I mean, it's
super fucked up.
And they did it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's in the West Virginia legislature, and they did that. And nobody called anybody out on that shit.
Yeah.
Well, but as soon as she said something about we should listen to Palestine, then all of a sudden, oh no, you're anti-Semitic. What are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, in terms of that remark, the one that got her a lot of flack, it was quoting the All About the Benjamins. Look, I'm not a person who's like sensitive to that stuff, and I could care less I sympathize with the Palestinian people. That remark, it just didn't, like you yourself have said on the show, there's levels of this stuff.
Right.
That left a bad taste in my mouth. It just didn't, it's like prejudice is not, it's like nebulous. It doesn't always, the point I'm trying to make is, but regardless, is that these West Virginia people are fucking crazy. And, we all make stupid remarks. If she made a remark that was not, she apologized, let's move on. And she did.
Yeah, she did apologize.
And look, the Palestinian people have gotten a very raw deal, and I'm sympathetic. And in no way am I a person who says Israel is right 100.
Right.
The Republicans don't give a shit about Israel. They care about Israel because in the evangelical world, all the Jews have to go back to Israel. So then we all self-destruct, and then Jesus comes back. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's why they don't give a fuck. This is the guy who said Charlottesville was both sides. Right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, both sides were wrong. Oh, really?
The other thing I just want to say, the day before the Michael Cohen hearing, Matt Gaetz, who's a congressman from Florida, publicly threatened Cohen.
Said, yo, what about your girlfriend?
Right. Right. Just
busted him out.
A shocking remark.
Right. Just busted him out of left field, too, by the way. Totally out of left field.
And now there's been allegations that Matt Gaetz, the congressman, was overheard by a reporter saying, this is true, he's on the phone with Trump saying, I'm glad I could do that for you.
Right.
So now people are saying that Trump told him to do that.
Well, look, at the Florida bar is looking into it now.
Yeah, that's right.
They have to look into all issues. So they're going to look into it. Probably nothing to happen, but, they're looking into it, though.
I think a lot of this stuff will have it's like even the stuff with Trump, it's going to have I don't know what the analogy I'm looking for is, but you're going to slowly see over the next 5 to 10 years that the consequences, it might not happen right away, but you see the Democrats are teeing up 60 investigations.
Right.
It's not going to happen right away.
Right. Well, like I've always said, this is like the Me Too moment for crime.
Government crime. Yeah.
for government
Or crime. Maybe you're right.
Just crime in
crime in general.
Just crime in general.
Yeah. Yeah, that very well could be.
Yeah, everybody's coming down on it. Like, crime is not cool anymore.
Like, a sitting United States congressman threatened a federal witness.
Right.
Yeah, publicly.
Right.
Not even privately.
No, on Twitter.
I'm sure all kinds of threats have happened behind closed doors in our...
Yeah, oh no, for sure. Threats are flying all over the White House behind closed doors. Trump is an old school gangster.
Speaking of testimony, a giant one is going to be on March 14th when... Do you know who Felix Sater is?
Mm-mm.
So Felix Sater is a Russian organized crime figure who's done business with Trump for like 30 years.
Okay.
Publicly testifying on March 14th for I think it's the House Intelligence Committee.
Oh wow.
Public.
Oh.
I mean, I just keep emphasizing that you think the Cohen thing was, this guy's an organized crime figure. He lives here.
Right.
I mean, you want to talk about a screenplay?
I'm telling you, dude, it's going to be Trump, the book, the movies, the plays, the TV shows, the cartoons, the comic books, the everything.
Let me just emphasize this again.
This is going to go on forever.
2 weeks from now, a Russian organized crime figure who, by the way, once killed a man in a bar fight and served time, and who is a personal business confidant of our president, is going to be in front of Congress.
Wow. And
I'll tell you this right now. I don't think he'll probably be as smooth as...
Is Cohen.
And maybe that's not the right word because Cohen is a lot of things, but maybe not smooth. But yeah, I don't think he'll be as prepared.
Yeah, Cohen was so prepared. He was over-prepared. And he only told us what we already knew.
Well, you know what I realized about Cohen? The Republicans, this version anyway, are slime balls. And Cohen spoke their language because he's a gangster. And that's why he did so well. Like, he didn't pretend to be like when Comey was out there, Comey, they were grilling him, and Comey is a government official.
Right.
But Cohen is from the street, basically. I mean, he literally is a straight up gangster.
Right.
So he knew how to talk to them.
Right.
But Felix Sater, who used a broken glass to literally kill a guy in a bar, and now lives in Trump Tower. I mean, come on, dude.
Unfortunately, I have to say I've seen those type of bar fights.
Yeah.
I've been around for the broken glass bar fight.
You ever see Mike Epps does a good bit about a bar fight. Come on with it now.
Come on with it now.
I've seen a couple, but not really with the broken glass.
Hey, what about Alva Johnson? Said that Trump tried to kiss her. Yeah.
Mel is talking about. Actually, can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we do that in a bit?
We
are going to bring that up. That's going to happen. I just want to say first, the other big story from the week was the security clearances.
You think that was a big story?
Well, it's a story that's been known, but because it was a big story, at least covered by the news media, I did want to put it up front because of the catastrophic nature of what is actually going on. Sarah Kendzior, who's like a big, she's a journalist and just a very sharp political commentator. She advocates for a removing these people from office immediately, and the reason is, like, you could tell some Democrats are doing it. Let's take our time. We got to do this right. We only get. Sarah Kendzior says these people are stealing secrets right now, and and every day. The secrets are going to be in their head, even if they leave office. They're still a threat. This is a national emergency that Jared Kushner, who's basically a Russian agent, has and a Saudi agent. So that's why I think it's so. Just wanted to bring it up now.
Well, I honestly believe they're not giving them any secrets.
I hope to God you're right.
They're not.
I really do.
They're not telling them anything because they already know.
Because this crime family,
right? They know. They've not been giving them the real truth ever.
You think so? I'm hoping there's some patriots who are just hiding it.
Yeah, right? Totally.
We'll find out about that.
I guarantee you, he's not getting the truth. The CIA is not giving him fucking updates.
You know what? Now actually Trump seems good. Now that you made me feel better, I think this whole presidency is going to work out great.
They're not giving. They're definitely not giving him updates. They stopped that immediately. Yeah, when he first got into office, they were presenting him with updates. and he wasn't even going to read them. And then also at the same time, that's when the Senate intel was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
And they're not giving him any intel.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any real information.
There was a big article about how he can't receive information on these briefings, so they've gradually tailored them to him using pictures and
Cartoons.
And now they've figured out another way, which is he's obsessed with competition, so when they have to explain something to him, and they'll be like, well, they're going to be better than us unless,
right.
Like it's like a child.
Right. Okay.
But we do know that he's already given away at least one. When the Russians were in the Oval Office, he gave a massive piece of classified information away that got at least a couple people killed. It was involving Syria and some top secret intel about terrorism.
Right.
So maybe they clamped on after that, I hope. Because that was...
And then he went over to meet Kim Jong-un and did nothing there. And only God knows what they could have planted on him. Yeah, he could have received gifts because he's all up for taking gifts and shit and everything. So
yeah,
who knows?
So
because they knew they weren't going to give up their nukes. They knew that they weren't going to do anything. So why did they need to see him in person?
Right. So the other, I guess, besides the security clearances, the North Korea was definitely a massive story. We went over to North Korea. Excuse me, went to Vietnam. This was the second summit. The first one was an unmitigated disaster that has led to Jong-un being a bigger figure on the world stage. So you think it can't get any worse, but it's Trump.
Right, it's Trump.
This one was even worse.
Was even worse. Wait, and how funny was Michael Cohen saying, how funny is it that you didn't want to go to war, and now here it is that you are in Vietnam?
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny. I was like, this guy is really writing his movie right now.
So Trump went to North Korea and with no plan.
Right.
Not even like it's funny watching these like suit and tie people on TV, these journalists or pundits try to explain. I just wish one of them would say, look, they just fly around the world with no plan. There's no plan.
There was no plan.
No plan.
No plan. He just showed up. Was like, okay, nah, I'm out.
That's why I need to get a job as one of these commentators, because I'm telling you, I could blow up the ratings.
Right.
Just by just telling the truth.
Right. The truth is good enough. There was no goddamn plan. I would be on CNN. There was no goddamn plan.
Literally.
Just be honest. There was no goddamn plan at all. He just went over there and wasted everybody's goddamn time and fucking money. There was no goddamn plan.
That's why I like that.
And then I'd get kicked off CNN.
Yeah.
And never asked back.
That's why I like that Sarah Kendzior, because she was on TV on Joy Reid. She was like, look, this is a crime family, and they need to be indicted immediately for our protection. It was like so simple. It was like, yeah, why can't more people just say that rather than trying to justify this? So yeah, Trump flew over to Vietnam. By the way, while he was there, these fucking people are so dumb in this administration. They couldn't even eat the Vietnamese food. I read an article about the food they were eating. Tell me if this sounds familiar. Chocolate lava cake and steak. Why does that sound familiar? Because that's what the fucking white trash motherfucker eats everywhere.
Everywhere. Lava cake.
Disrespecting, I know, lava cake.
Lava cake and a steak.
Disrespecting the Vietnamese people by not even
trying their food.
That's important in a lot of cultures.
Right. That you eat their food.
Right.
Even if you get sick and throw up like Bush did, you still eat the food.
You at least try it.
You at least try it. Eat the food. I'm surprised. I really thought you were going to say he brought McDonald's.
Yeah. So Jong-un he's eclipsed his father and grandfather. He's met with an American president twice. He's on a motherfucking coin.
Right.
That I purchased and is sitting next to me.
I love that coin.
Got the coin. He's got a lot out of it.
Right, he did. He's got all the publicity that he wants. He could go back and do all the propaganda videos and messages and everything all day long.
Trump saluted
Who
him.
knows what Trump said to him? Trump probably said some shit to him that we don't even know he said, and it's on the propaganda tape.
That's right. And Kim made himself look really good.
He already said that he believes Kim Jong-un, that he didn't kill Otto Warmbier.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Right? But so much is going on this week, dude. So much is going on this week.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
So, by the way, Kim, Kim in these public settings is good at. He's exceedingly good at. Like you look at him, and if you didn't know about him, you wouldn't be like, this guy's a psychopath. He just looks like this jovial character,
Right.
but he's a complete psychopath. So he's doing great. This is so good for him.
Right.
I mean, it's not about Trump. It's about the world looking at him and other countries becoming more friendly to him. And that's what he wants.
Look, and Trump gets up there and says, well, I believe Kim Jong-un. Really, dude? Really?
So
now he's got that on propaganda tape as well. So that's playing in North Korea on a constant fucking loop.
Right. So let's do Otto. So Otto Warmbier, who was a student who was killed by the North Korean regime.
Right. For taking a propaganda poster.
I have a lot of thoughts about that story.
He really shouldn't have been fucking around, though. You don't go to North Korea and fuck around.
I could do like 3 shows on. I was telling someone about that the other day, and they were like, well, it's messed up. And I was like, look, I'm not saying anyone deserves that, but if we are going to speak the truth, as is so important, how fucking stupid can you be?
You shouldn't have done
how
that,
stupid
dude.
Can you be?
You don't go to North Korea and fuck around.
And I want to be clear. I understand the North Korean regime lies about everything. I believe that he did take that poster. Now, the penalty did not match the crime.
Right. He should not be death.
But I absolutely believe.
But I do believe he fucked around with the poster.
Well,
sure.
They were drinking. I think that's what happened, because I heard there was alcohol involved, which makes sense, because that's what college students do.
Right.
But Jesus, like, really?
Yeah. Look at the ones that we, what was that? The ballers. They went over to, China and was stealing shit? From UCLA.
Because I was about to ask you a 2-part question. Which was, do you think a black student would one, A, gone to North Korea, and B, stolen a poster?
The answer probably is yes and yes, actually, because yes, they went over to China and stole some shit, right?
Yeah, no, you just...
So what the fuck? Why would you? So you got so fucking lucky that you weren't killed over in fucking China.
No, you're
stealing shit. And you got money. Your brother is on the fucking Lakers. LeVon Ball on the fucking Lakers, got money, and you decide to go over to China and go and steal some shit. It's China, motherfucker. You don't go in other countries and steal shit. It's not like America.
Otto, first, let me say this too. Don't ever go to North Korea. Like, that was some kind of missionary trip. Like, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
None of us should ever go there.
There's a lot of places we should never go. And that's definitely one of them.
Because you can do I've been all over the world, and you need to know where you can go and where you can't go.
Right.
And while you could go to North Korea and do nothing and still end up in jail.
Right. Just for being there.
Right. You could not even be in North Korea, but be near the border, and they've kidnapped people over the side, just grabbed them. Mm-hmm. So it's like, the lesson is don't go to North Korea.
Yeah, don't go to North Korea. Don't go to North Korea. I went to Checkpoint Charlie in Berlin when the wall was still up. Mm-hmm.
That's very cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been to the wall after that, but
I've been before, during, and after.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fascinating place.
It is. Berlin's great.
Oh, amazing.
Berlin is great. I loved it over there.
So Trump, you thought the disgrace couldn't get big enough, and then he has the gall to tell one of us was killed over there, despite whatever mistake he made with a stupid poster. And then you make the dictator feel good?
Right. And you know good and well that he knows about it. Nothing happens in North Korea without him knowing about it.
Of course. No. And especially that.
Of course.
He knows.
Especially that.
He knows exactly what happened.
They absolutely killed that fucking kid, which is ridiculous.
I think because an American is a better bargaining chip, it must have been some kind of accident. Because to my knowledge, they've never done that with one of our American hostages.
Right. No. Yeah. I do agree with you that it might have been accident, that they didn't do it on purpose. But
I'm not like excusing it, but I feel like that's probably what went down.
Mm-hmm. Like they slipped up and it went a little too far.
Or maybe some crazy guard who knows?
Slipped up, went a little too far.
This goes back to the point I was making, which is this is why you don't go to North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Never.
Like forever? No.
Why? Why do you need to go to North Korea? The South Koreans punk the North Koreans all the time. They call them country and stupid. Really? Oh, yeah. South Koreans be clowning on the North Korea. Oh, shit. Did I just start a war?
No.
Oh, fuck. Well, maybe I should take that back. Maybe I just started a war.
Well, it's the regime that's bad. I mean, the North Korean people, they don't have a choice. It's so...
Shit, let's hope I didn't start a war.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This show's not heard in North Korea. It may be in South Korea a little bit. There's a few listeners.
Okay.
But yeah, so just look, add the Otto Warmbier thing, and then his parents issue a statement. And by the way, I'm almost sure that his parents probably voted for Trump, which to me is that's just sad.
Oh.
Well, they're conservative people. I think they're from Utah. So I doubt they voted for Hillary Clinton.
Right. And then Trump went and turned his back on him.
He played them. Yeah.
And said that what?
So I know that's because that's Trump. I wish
it just never gets good with that guy.
I wish these Republicans would just see that. Like,
follow the money. Something's going on. We'll know when the movie comes out.
So Trump is being sued again. As you said, he sexually assaulted another woman. This came out. So by my count, it's about 20 that we know about. So over his life, it's probably been, 2,000?
Yeah, right. But this assault, though, I mean, so she was out there doing great campaigning for him, right? Doing everything for him. And he was super excited about that. So he goes over to her, talks to her, and then
sexually assaults her.
And then tries to give her a little kiss, and she goes, no, or whatever, turns her face. He kisses half lip, half cheek.
But
and now she's saying, well, he was going to grab. He was going to grab that.
Of course.
He was going to grab that thing. But she's claiming to have nightmares and stuff about it now.
Oh, I absolutely believe that.
But really, should you be having nightmares about that? I mean, there's a lot of things that happen to a lot of people, and that's serious. And there's a lot of serious assaults that happen.
You're right.
That really...
Well, here's the thing. I mean, when you read a lot of the story, look, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be in anyone's head, but certainly not hers or anyone else. But I could see that. I mean, the guy's a fucking disgusting criminal. He's a rapist.
But she doesn't hate him. She's all about him. She's campaigning for him.
Oh, at the time.
She's enthusiastic about him.
But that's what all these predators
She's all for the guy. And then he tries to come in on her, and she's like, no, and turns her head. And all of that seems kind of suspect, dude. Because she's all into him. She's full on into him. Like doing everything, campaigning super hard and everything. Like Trump is her boy.
Well, that's what all these predators do. They look for that.
Look for the person that's all into. Right.
I also think, to be fair, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you and I have not really been in that. Like, we're not.
No, I've not.
We're not subject to that kind of. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I've.
Look, there's been guys that have tried to, maybe try to make a move or something, and I'm just like, no, I'm not into that. Like, that's not me. But I'm not having fucking nightmares about that shit later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. People get hit on. Everybody gets hit on eventually by somebody you don't want to be hit on about. It's not a nightmare situation. I usually just forget about it.
Imagine if we're doing the podcast, though. Let's say there's a third guy here. Let's just Joe. And he just leans over and kisses you. Like, what the fuck just happened?
I know, but I'm not going to have a nightmare about it, though.
Everybody,
I don't know. I'm not going to have a nightmare about it. I've been in a situation where I've had a guy totally hit on me in a situation that I couldn't even get out of. Like, I was in the car riding along with this guy, and he started hitting on me. And I was like, what? No, what? No, I like girls. What?
Yeah.
No. And he just kept saying stuff, and eventually it went away. But, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
If he was rich and he was on TV all of a sudden, and I saw that guy, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that dude. He was hitting on me so super hard. Huh.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, it would bring it up, and I would not feel happy about that situation.
It's just interesting. The stories are almost identical. That even the one he told Billy Bush, I don't wait. I just grab them.
Right.
I think there probably are people out there who can brush things off. And then
there's some that just can't.
I think that's, again, I think that's something that you and I we just haven't, and fortunately will not have to experience in that way.
Let's hope not. I'm not dead yet.
You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to expand on this further, actually. If you're listening to this show and you have any thoughts on that, a woman.
Yeah, definitely.
Send us a message.
Definitely love to hear from women.
Yeah.
For sure. Because if I'm just like totally retarded.
You're
I'm just like totally stupid.
No, the show's a conversation, but it's true that
I don't mind being corrected.
If you want to, women will let you know.
Right, they will. I don't mind being wrong and being corrected. I don't have a problem with that. It's a learning experience.
No, it's Mueller Time Podcast at Gmail or any of the social media. No, I'm serious. I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, no, for sure. If I'm totally out of my head, just totally wrong about that, just let me know. I'll apologize. I mean,
No, I don't think you're wrong. It's just we're just talking.
Right. I mean, yeah, I've been hit on. I didn't like it.
Yeah. I saw something. The one more thing I'll say about this. It was about a month ago where I was in a bar, and this dude on the way out, he just like grabbed this girl, and he did it so I thought they knew each other.
So smooth.
He like hugged her, so I was like, oh, I guess that's her boyfriend, because I wasn't paying attention. And then the bartender was like, get out of here.
Whoa.
And then it turned out, of course, that he was just a fucking scumbag.
A weirdo.
I thought the bartender actually didn't handle it that well, because I would have called the cops, but the way it went down.
They didn't have security at the bar.
But the girl,
why is it every bar I go to has security? Am I going to the wrong bars? Every bar I go to has security, I think. Wait, let me think about that. Okay. No.
The only reason I brought it up was because the girl, who I know a little bit just from the bar, and I was like,
Did you go over to her? Did you ask her? Was she okay or anything?
She was fine. I mean, look, you never know what's going on in someone's head, but she was just like, she sort of just brushed it off, which is, I guess, sad in a way.
I mean, yay, a little bit, but at the same time, dude, that's a full-on assault, though. Especially you don't know them and they come up and hug you like that.
Yeah.
You know what? Something like that, I would remember for a while. Because it was a stranger, too. I think that's what would make it worse.
Well, I was surprised at her reaction, because I've seen that happen, sadly, in other times, and it's always been, the person's been very upset, which is understandable. This girl was just...
Maybe she did know him.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it was...
But you got the vibe that definitely...
The reason I brought it up was people react differently in different situations.
Right.
That's just what I'm going to say.
Okay.
They should have called the cops. I think. She just kind of threw him out.
Yeah, I think that was all that's necessary. I don't think the cops needed to be... What were they going to do? They can't arrest him.
Yeah, they can. That's assault.
Was she going to press charges and all that?
I don't know.
And then, it makes a small thing a big thing. Now, she pressed charges against this dude. She knows, like, they're in the neighborhood. He's probably going to be mad, gets out of jail.
Oh, fuck that guy.
And then he sees her again, and now he's, like, violent.
Nah, he looked like Jimmy Buffett.
I don't know. I'm sometimes for just letting shit go, because sometimes you make shit way bigger than it should be.
Well, no, that's...
People do want revenge.
Trump also gave an unhinged speech at CPAC.
Oh, we're back to Trump again.
For those of you who don't know what CPAC is, there's go online and just Google CPAC. It's the most unhinged conference in this country. We could spend 3 shows on what CPAC is, but suffice it to say, it's a manifestation of what the Republican Party has become. Mm-hmm. And he gave the longest speech in his presidency.
Right, at CPAC.
2 hours.
I know.
That one, coupled with the one he gave after the North Korean failure, which was actually hilarious. That one was
I didn't listen to that.
It was at like 2 a.m.
I don't listen to him. I still don't really listen to him. But I do know that he gave a 2-hour speech, because he was just rambling like we're doing right now. But he was just rambling.
he used profanity.
Of course he did.
It's the same thing that the Nazis did. It's disturbing, actually, because that's how it starts, with a person giving an unhinged speech.
Right.
It's how you use profanity. It's disturbing when it comes out of a president's mouth. Just
right. Well, he's getting his base riled up for sure.
Right.
And if he doesn't run, what is his base going to do?
The ultimate. I don't think he's going to run again. But what is his base going to do?
Mm-hmm. If he doesn't run, they're going to be upset.
Of course they'll be.
They're going to be upset.
But they'll make it. They'll get over it.
You think?
Yeah, I think that their nature, because of the way they function, which is to let other people handle their problems, which is why they voted for him in the first place. They're not going to do shit.
I think he's definitely splitting this country.
Who are the organizers? Think about the big marches that have happened. It's us. The March for Our Lives, the Women's March.
Right.
That's people like us.
But then there's Charlottesville, and there's other.
That's true. But look at the level. That Charlottesville was, let's say that was a few hundred people.
That's all it takes. Look at what happened. That girl Heather Heyer got killed. And it was only a few hundred people.
That's true.
Look at what happened when he had all those guys down there, your Catholic schoolboys.
Yeah.
Right? It was just a few of them. It only takes a few for it to be a nightmare.
Well,
it just really does.
Look, I'll say to those Trump people, if you're upset, why don't you come to LA and wear that MAGA hat, see how that works out.
Yeah, no, that's not going to work out at all. Yeah. Let's not do that, you guys. That's not going to be a good look for you guys.
Downtown LA, come over to 6 and Fig by the Staples Center.
Right, with your little MAGA hats on. Yeah, that's not going to work. Don't do that.
No, they're not going to do it.
Although we do have Proud Boys.
Yeah, I know. Chris and I saw a few of them at that conference at Politicon, and then that thing happened that you and I talked about at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they're kind of going over the hill already. The FBI declared them a hate group,
right?
And then their founder quit because he's a fucking wimp who can't.
Right. Well, all of them. Anyway, we know what's going on. America's watching us all.
By the way, Trump also is disgracing us with. This was unknown, but I sent it to you. Saudi Arabia has a U.S. citizen in custody who they've been torturing. Never heard of this till 3 days ago. Just came out.
Wow.
He's a doctor. He went to Harvard. He's like a dual citizen.
Mm-hmm.
He's a full United States citizen. So they swept him up. MBS, the same guy who killed the wife.
Right.
Swept him up in some raid. This guy isn't even. It's not even him that they want. It's He's like related to someone who made them mad. So they just arrested him too.
So they just arrested him and now they're torturing him. An American citizen being tortured by MBS.
An American, not even just like Khashoggi. I mean, it's all bad, but Khashoggi was a permanent resident.
Mm-hmm.
So, which again doesn't make it any better, but this guy is a full citizen.
Right.
Meanwhile, Trump crickets.
Right. Yeah. No. Never going to say anything against the Saudis.
Nothing. It's like.
Never. Some people get free passes. It's going to be a Me Too moment for all these fools.
Yeah.
For all of them. One day, somebody's going to wake up and be like, no more free passes.
I was watching this. I think it's on Netflix. It's Truth in Something. It's like a 30-minute show. It's like one season about like the rise of authoritarian governments and how they use technology. It's narrated by Maggie Gyllenhaal. It's very good.
I'm going to check that out.
And one part is about Morocco, and that's an authoritarian country, and how they're using this software to monitor people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the point is this stuff is alarming, that this is happening all over the world, and now we have our own guy.
Right.
But, take your pick. Syria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, everywhere, man.
Right.
Venezuela. England has Brexit, which is an extension of that.
Right. Totally.
It is alarming.
Yeah, it's the Russians. The Russians are pulling it all apart so that they could take over. Divide and conquer.
Well, you are going to join Blacktivist, though, right?
Yeah, I'll be a Blacktivist for sure. No, but it's divide and conquer. It's the Russian plan. That's what they've always been all about. And that's what they're doing. They did it to us here in the U.S. They did it to the U.K. with Brexit. They're doing it now in Venezuela. they're just going to divide and conquer.
It's crazy to see this because, like, I don't remember it that well, but like you brought up the Soviet Union falling, the wall, and that's like a new age. That was supposed to be a new age of freedom, and there has been for a while, but then it's like a cycle.
Right.
This, Hungary, where my family's from, that's one of the most disturbing because Viktor Orban was actually, like, my understanding is he's the authoritarian president. Not only is he smart, he was a hero before. Like, he was like, my understanding is he was some kind of left-wing hero. He was put in jail. He was tortured. And he got out. They had high hopes for him. And now he's become the authoritarian.
Right. That's what always happens because the system is set up that way. Sometimes when you get in the system, you play by what the system is set up and boom, next thing you know, authoritarian.
That's what happened with Castro. He was supposed to be the hero who took out, his name was Batista. And then he became.
Right. Authoritarian. I mean, that's because the system is set up that way.
Yeah.
So that's what happens.
And now
you'd have to change the whole system. But once you're in there, who wants to change the system? The authoritarian is a good life. Well,
that's kind of the end of that book, 1984, when the main character asks, like, his nemesis, what is all this about? When he's finally face to face and like, why is the world like this? Why do you people do this? And he's like, it's shocking when you read. He's like, I like a nice house. I like a car.
Right. And
if I can have that by controlling you people, then yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
It's like, that's the Trump family.
It is.
All of them.
Well, it's that and religion too, but let's not go down there yet.
Yeah.
That'll be another day.
Yeah. No, they would call it a dark alliance of the Republican Party and the evangelical movement together.
Right. It's all about control. We control you.
Yeah. Well, that's religion's always been that kind of tool, isn't it?
Yeah. Religion is always that tool. It's always the tool that says, we control you. If you want to meet God, you have to go through me. Like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, isn't God inside me? Why would I have to go through you to get to God? Like, that's weird.
It really is alarming to see these countries. I mean, I never saw anything like this. One after another elect these. Poland has one. It's like, it's weird, crazy that I have our own we have our own genuine third world. He would walk out in a general's uniform if he could.
Oh, he's probably ordered one.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure he ordered one. Remember, he wanted the military parade. We had to turn that shit down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's probably asked for a general's uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quite sure he has. And we had to say, oh, hell no.
How awesome would it be, though, if one day he called a press conference and he walked out in a military?
Oh, my God.
Come on, you would lose it.
Ooh, that'd be so good. I wouldn't even wait till Sunday to do this show.
I would drop whatever I was doing and just
get on the mic. I would come here immediately.
Like,
I would come here immediately and just turn on the mic and just be like, what the fuck is going on right now? Look at this shit.
Like with like a Medal of Honor, Purple Heart.
Oh, all that shit. Bone spurs.
Like the whole thing, like Bronze Star.
Oh, he would have it all. He would be fully decorated. Fully decorated, dude. He'd come out looking like Patton. Fully decorated. It'd be fucking great, dude. Watch Trump come out there fully decorated with the hat, everything.
That would be kind of awesome. Yeah, like a full-on breakdown. And watch the Republicans justify it.
Oh, yeah. No, they'd be like, yeah, that's how he's the commander-in-chief. So,
well,
yes.
You know what they do? Well, to be fair, no one's ever said that you can't wear a general's uniform.
That's what they would do. Exactly. And he's the commander-in-chief. So, yeah. But what did he have all the... why does he have all the awards and shit on his chest? What did he do?
You would turn on the TV and some angry pundit, you'd be like, turn on and someone like, I don't know, some Don Lemon will be like, imagine if Barack Obama wore a general's uniform, and everyone will agree, but it doesn't matter.
Right, it wouldn't matter.
Because it's Trump.
Right, because it's Trump. Of course Trump has a military uniform. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't hear this and do it. Although, I don't know. No, I'd be up for it. I'd be up for watching him in a military uniform because he's Trump.
I wish he did hear this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get some press.
Yeah, that's true too.
Anything you'd like to add, Mel? Anything you want to talk about that happened this week or next week?
Oh my God. What? No, I don't think so. So much happened this week. Jesus.
I do know that on the docket for this week, Paul Manafort is going to be sentenced, I think, on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something tomorrow, but Manafort is the big one.
Right.
And as always, Friday is usually the day when indictments drop. So we will perhaps see something more. Wait till the end. Mueller says Roger Stone's case will take 5 days in court.
Wow.
So he already told the judge about 5.
Who framed Roger Stone?
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a trip. Yeah, Manafort had to give up so much money that money actually can pay for the Mueller investigation.
That's right. No, the Mueller investigation has turned a profit, unlike every Trump operation.
Right. So it's not even taxpayers. It's not even our money anymore that's paying for this.
Oh, yeah.
It's fully paid already.
It's Mueller.
Right.
Everything.
Everything Mueller does is great.
Now, I'll say probably the last thing. Stone, first he violated the judge's order with that little crosshair stunt.
Right.
And now, he did it again. Because he didn't tell him he is writing a book.
Right.
If this guy's not in jail, I don't know what this country's coming to.
Look, I'm telling you, all of this looks like it's a setup just for TV movies and movies and everything. It just really does. It just all looks like TV movies.
If you want to follow us for the second time, it's on Twitter at Mueller Time Pod, Mueller Time Podcast at Gmail. If you want to reach out, especially if you want to sponsor the show, you have any thoughts, anything you want to talk to me or Mel about, or really anything at all. Instagram is Mueller Time Podcast, and Facebook is Mueller Time Podcast. My personal Twitter account is Eric LeVay. Mel's not reachable in any way, so just don't.
Just, you know what? I'm too busy to be on the Twitter. So, if you tweeted me, because you guys have seen my tweet handle, so if you tweet me, maybe I'd read it. I don't know.
He may or may not.
I don't have that much time to be reading tweets. I'm too important.
Otherwise, as always, it's been a pleasure, and we will catch you next week.